Hello, my name is Radda, and welcome to another Toonkind at 12 FPS. Blah, tongue's not working. But yeah, so today we've got a duo of you know oh, I completely forgot what I was gonna say.
It happens, don't worry about it.
Uh, but yeah, I'm gonna be playing Loccan Tahgit, everybody's favorite gun-faced lawman of the West. And what about you?
I'm gonna be playing, Perrin the Platypus, Agent P, uh, I, yeah, he's here, he's doing things, oh god, why is he in this situation, what happened?
Also, this is RJ, by the way.
Oh yeah, I'm RJ, hi.
I figured that they should probably know that.
Yeah, it's probably something they should know. God, we're off to a great start, huh?
Yeah. I mean, it's about as good of a start as we've had to any of these sessions because
True.
it's like if so, this is a continuation, like a side thing from Protect the Town, and currently, Loccan, Perrin, and the rest of their group are currently somewhat en route to Loccan's hometown of New Scribwick to stage a villain attack. So that's fun.
Yeah. It's hilarious how half the party is in some way, a member of law enforcement, and we all just kind of went, you know what? Fuck the police.
Fuck the police. We are the law. Let's do it better than them. But yeah, so at the moment, we haven't gotten very far from what was the town, Wardsburg?
Yes.
Yeah, we're on the outskirts of Wardsburg at the moment. We're still like plotting out of town, and Loccan is like looking over a map, trying to figure out the easiest route up to New Scribwick, since it's a bit of a walk all the way up to the Warren Desert.
Just a bit. Just a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, so yeah, he's kind of like looking over some maps and stuff. That's really all the intro I
Yeah,
had.
I think Perrin would probably be doing the same, if only to try and coordinate where supplies are coming from, because Perrin offered to get supplies sent to New Scribwick for for Barrow to try and actually
you know,
build the robots. Because we kind
yeah,
of sort of got his workshop raided by the police by accident.
and we used
So
C4 on the robots.
we use C4 on the robots. We, you, and bro.
I used C4.
In case you can't tell, this is going to contain massive spoilers for Protect the Town Parts 1 and 2, so if you haven't watched those yet, pause this, go watch that.
Yeah, I did mention that. So yeah. Locken's kind of gonna glance up at Perrin, and uh, he's gonna be like, so, I honestly, I didn't realize you had so many connections of your own. I mean, I guess I probably should have expected that, considering your whole secret agent and all that stuff. But I mean, the more you know.
I'm gonna roll hammer space because I don't think he still has his notepad out. Okay, well, yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
good
He
enough.
reaches into his hat and he pulls out his notepad and he scribbles something down. Then he passes it over to you, and it just reads, "Most of the agents don't. I'm unique."
Oh, huh. I can understand being a solo operative. I think that's the word, solo operative. I don't know. I've always kind of just been the lone gunman of New Scribwick. And then my head turned into a gun, so I'm even more of a lone gunman. uh,
There's a pause as he writes something down, and then you get back lone gun man with the man underlined to lone gun man with gun underlined.
Locke chuckles a little bit. It's like, Look, Inkwell's a crazy place.
You get a very amen to that look from Perrin.
uh, while we're on the way there, I should probably give you a couple other things you should probably know about New Scribwick. It's incredibly small. I mentioned this before, but it's only got like 23 folks there, including myself, and I'm always traveling all over the world, so it's like more like a 22. Really not a lot. Also got its own like localized currency or whatever because it's just that isolated. Like we're talking absolute dirt water. Like, no, not dirt water. Actually got pretty good water, but it's like a very backwater kind of town, even for like Inkwell standards.
Yeah. There's he's nodding as he's writing this, and he slides the note over to you. It's just, I could never get into New Scriptwick. Too small to plant an agent safely.
I mean, yeah, I'd probably know instantly the moment that somebody tried to show up there. It's just kind of one of those things. It's like that's where my law jurisdiction lays, and it's usually the worst we got to deal with is just little criminals showing up, like little bandits trying to raid the bank and stuff. Usual stuff. I'm trying to think. That reminds me of like one time. I was like trying to remember the names. I think it was like Pilfer Pete and No Good Neil or something. They were like trying to dig under the bank to get into the vault from underneath so that we wouldn't notice. But then the vault ended up caving in on top of them. And, well, the old anvil on the trick. The old anvil on the head trick. Uh,
I have to roll hyperspace again. God damn it. Okay, yeah, he manages to pull it out. He pulls out, it's, it looks like a set of blueprints. Do you wanna, roll, what the fuck would this be?
I guess perception?
Yeah,
Maybe?
or investigation, whichever's higher.
Oh, I know investigation is higher, so I'll do that.
18, yeah, okay. It's a set of blueprints for some kind of ray weapon. The handwriting is pretty gnarly. It's very much doctor's handwriting, so it's a little bit difficult to decipher, but you can kind of tell that whatever this weapon was for, the intended purpose was to turn toons into plants.
Loccan blinks a couple of times, just like how it just blinks and a couple of piano notes go every time.
Yeah. There's a short moment while he scribbles something down, then he hands you a note and it goes, one of the first schemes I busted. The damn thing didn't even work.
Well, I guess that's kind of a relief. What the heck? Who the heck was trying to make a machine to turn tunes to plants? Out of all the things, I don't get it.
Scribble, scribble,
Bug.
scribble. There was a whole backstory involved. It was a thing. Don't worry about it.
Sounds like a thing. That thing, like the whole international agency stuff. You got to deal with things like all over the all over the world, and you never know what kind of crazies you're gonna find that way. I mean, I guess, like, yeah, I got my jurisdiction in New Scribwick, but then I explored like the whole continent as well. But I don't really dispense law anywhere else. I'm just kind of an adventurer everywhere else. It really just New Scribwick. That's where I gotta be, all gotta show off the badge and everything. And yeah, but by that point, everybody already knows who I am because it's so small.
You get kind of an expression from Perrin, complete with slightly wibbling hand. And then he writes, it's not so much dispensing justice, per se. It's more along the lines of taking down supervillains.
Ah, yeah, definitely higher caliber villains than what I take down. Then again, I guess we did just take down another one. He gives a side glance back to like where Barrow is probably like resting at the moment, and he's just like, "Did not expect this to be a thing you're doing, but whatever." He's just kind of like reminiscing and things.
Yeah.
Oh man, did I did I tell you about the time some folks tried to get into the mines? Because like, New Scribble's like a mining town. There we used to like got a whole mine shaft that it's not really in active use anymore. We just kind of got what we got, and we've been running pretty well off of what we got. So we haven't had much need to mine up anything else out of that hole. But I remember some sneaky varmints were trying to crawl in there and see if they could find anything useful. They ended up finding a bit more than they bargained for.
Perrin does raise an interested eyebrow at that.
uh, after after they abandoned the mines, it kind of got filled with creepy crawly monster stuff. And well, I ain't been down there myself. I don't know what's down there, but I can say that by the time I got there to apprehend the two, they were both running out of that cave scared. I don't know what was down there, but yeah, sometimes it's better just to not know about that stuff.
There's another note. Maybe. Sometimes fighting things that you know is easier than fighting things that you don't.
Yeah. Um, Now I'm kind of curious. What other kinds of random missions you've been on? It's like you being the most famous member of your agency probably lead to a whole lot of random backstory stuff. Mm-hmm. If I'm telling you about where I'm from, why don't we have an equal trade?
There's a brief pause as Perrin just looks at you for a moment. And then he reaches not into his hat, but into his fur. And he pulls out a collar and clicks the tag, and it opens into a locket. And in that locket, there's two pictures, one on each side. One is of a pair of young boys. One of them has a triangle-shaped head and yellow hair, and the other one has a cylindrical-shaped head and blue hair. And the other one is of a girl, who looks older than the boys, who also has yellow hair.
Loccan tilts his head a bit, looking at the locket. Friends of yours?
He signs this slowly, because he's kind of picked up that you've been trying to learn sign a bit. So he signs this slowly, finger spells. My cover family.
I'm gonna roll intelligence really quickly just to see how well he does with that, because he is still learning. His comprehension isn't perfect, but I'd say that's good enough. 17. That's good enough to understand.
Yeah, that's good enough.
Yeah,
Perrin does it a
cover
couple
family.
times so you can catch it.
Mm-hmm. Cover family. Huh. I guess being a secret agent means you gotta be secretive. Makes complete sense. I hope they're nice.
He grabs the notepad and he's writing for a hot minute. scratching things out and rewriting things, and when he hands it back, there's entire sentences that have been so thoroughly scratched out that you can't read them. But what you can put together just says, ILA agents are trained from birth and then put with the cover family to do their assignments.
Ooh. Loccan reads over this once or twice with definitely a raised eyebrow, and it's like, oh wow, that's that's a heavy one. I mean, he's not sure how to react to that because it's like he's not really in the whole agent business. He doesn't know that this is a thing, and now that he's seen that it's a thing, it's like, well, I guess this has just been your life now. This has just been your life the whole time, and
He does see this, and he takes the notepad back, and he quickly scratches something else down. You're a Toon, you know Grolix. This is not in common. This is in Grolix. How would he put this? They are my family. And family has been underlined 3 times.
Loccan nods. Like he sees this and he nods. Like, yeah, I think that's the best. I think that's pretty good. Like, you love them, they love you. It's all good. Can you roll insight for me really quick?
Yeah, I can. I don't have my physical dice, so I'll just have to do this with dice bars, unfortunately. But 25.
Oh, that's very good. Yeah, Loccan is Loccan's saying this like, yeah, it's really nice that you have, like, even if it's like a cover, at the same time you still like trust them enough to have them be your family, like, completely. But then, like, he's kind of saying it with an air of loneliness, like he does, like, on the one hand, yeah, he's probably got like a family back home, but it's not like that tight knit of a family. Maybe he's thinking of like all of New Scribwick as his family. Because, you know, it's already a tight knit town.
Yeah.
Why not just add another layer of tight knit?
Yeah. Perrin, for all of his insight, is far better at parkouring away from his emotions than he is handling other people's.
Yeah,
so he
that's
just kind
fair.
of awkwardly pat on the shoulder.
Yeah, Loccan's gonna give a pat on Perrin's shoulder back. Oh, man. Any more of your crazier missions you might want to share? I mean, gotta have seen some wild stuff in that business, I imagine.
There's a what sounds like the platypus could chuckle. And then I need to do another hammer space roll. 3. Okay, cool. He reaches into his hat and pulls out. it looks like a membership card, and as he holds it out for you to take, it's a membership card. It's a membership card for Einquell's Botanical Garden, but it's not for Perrin. It's for someone called Captain Cypher.
Loccan takes the card and flips it over a couple times. Another baddie?
Again, you get that kind of expression, and he scribbles out a note, and it says, this one was actually... It was my nemesis's ex? You can tell the hesitation in that statement.
Huh. Huh. What were they doing in the botanical gardens?
Oh, they were hired to hunt me down. They failed.
Oh! Loccan's face just kind of like, his eyes briefly become dots and he's just like, oh! I mean,
tried to kill me, no big deal.
again, this is probably just something that comes with the agent business, but at the same time, Loccan doesn't do like hardcore quests, like hardcore missions like Perrin does, and so he's never really had to deal with assassination attempts on that kind of level. The most he can say for a quote unquote assassination attempt would be like a Wild West duel. Like, 10 paces behind each other, all that stuff.
Yeah, Perrin is slowly realizing, oh hey, these casual missions that I consider to be normal are actually really fucking wild for other people, huh?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he asked for wild missions. You could basically just talk about any of them. Compared to this cowboy sheriff gunface who's just kind of been living in the nowhere town while occasionally wandering around Inkwell, getting himself into whatever situations that this whole place gets him into.
You can
But it's
you
like,
can you can see the kind of scrambling for something a little less wild, but what is considered wild for this guy, oh no, expression on Perrin's face.
Loccan can tell, like, okay. Oh! Loccan snaps his fingers a bit. I just remembered that time that I was with a bunch of other folks, and we had to go and, like, cancel a wedding. Like, we were hired to cancel a whole wedding. That was a bit ridiculous, because we had no idea what we were doing, and we ended up sneaking in, talking to people, and then stole some really old juice. That was a chaotic one.
You get an expression from Perrin like, no, you can't just say that and then stop. Keep going.
Okay, so he basically goes into detail about how there's apparently this cat royal family and this dog royal family, and the dog royal family wanted to sort of intermarry the two groups together, but it wasn't gonna work out romantically. So it's you know what? If this is all just based on politics or whatever, cancel the wedding. And Loccan's going into detail about, okay, so they do the normal thing of they go in, they start talking to people, trying to investigate if they can get any beef on this guy. But then it eventually devolves into somebody in the party suggesting that they steal the drinks. And he had set up a whole police barrier and everything. And I'm basically spoiling the entire 2-shot of Romeo and Juliet here, so
We'll have to put spoilers for Romeo and Juliet in the description too.
this is an entire just spoiler FPS here.
Yeah, a little bit. By the end of that whole story, Perrin's just kind of looking at you like, and you thought my escapades were wild.
Look, yours have better motivations behind them. I just kind of get into messes and don't know how to get out of them. That's how I ended up pinky promising with the deity. You get the feeling he's kind of hit the stage of, oh god, why did I do that?
You get another awkward pat on the shoulder from Perrin.
You get the feeling Loccan can be a bit impulsive.
Yeah, no, surprisingly, Perrin had figured that out. Given that,
uh,
their introduction to each other involved the other fucking throwing C4 at a goddamn robot.
uh, I love these two so much.
They're great.
Oh man.
There's a little bit of a pause, I think, and Perrin looks mildly thoughtful, and then scribbles out a note. You've been all over Rhinquell, right?
Hmm, at least most of like Giznep Kingdom. I haven't quite gotten further out than that often, but I think a couple times at least.
Did you ever hear any rumors about people vanishing for a day or two and coming back different?
Loccan pauses, rubbing his head a bit. I don't think I heard anything about that, but why do you ask?
Oh god, okay.
That one, or whatever that
He gives
was.
a very don't worry about it, kind of hand gesture and facial expression, but you can see he's still thinking hard about it. That was an attempt to deceive you, and you're rolling that one.
Loccan thinks for a moment, but then I'm gonna roll Hammer Space this time.
Ooh.
Okay, yeah. Loccan pulls out what seems to be a decently sized sketchbook with a few with sketches of other tunes inside. He's flipping through, and you can see there's like this there's like a little green figure with a bun. There's an angel with hands for wings.
The
There's
the the
what
angel
looks
with
like
the angel with hands for wings. The moment you get to the page with that one, Perrin like slaps a hand down on the book and is looking intently at that one.
Loccan blinks, like glancing back. Was this one of the people that was reported missing?
It grabs his notepad and
Hmm.
squishy scratches down. I recognize them, but I don't know where from.
Loccan glances back and forth. It's like I use this notebook as kind of like a record of people I've met around the whole on my travels. And while I drew them, I don't quite remember them. But obviously, I should recognize them if they're in this notebook. Um, and then he flips to another page, and it's a sketch of the engineer with his business card. And he's like, I still don't know where I got this.
Blink, 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 blink.
I guess I just have it. Lockett is like Lockett is just kind of flipping through the book. Like you get the feeling that every time Lockett flips to this particular portion of the sketchbook, he gets very confused. And this is like a regular occurrence every time he gets to this spot.
Hmm.
Like he feels like he should be remembering something, but he can't.
Scribble, 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 and then a note is put in front of you that says, several months ago, I woke up one day not remembering the last 48 hours. I woke up stronger, and I woke up a lot more paranoid.
Loccan blinks, trying to remember when he drew these. And he doesn't remember drawing them, but he remembers. But I remember waking up and finding these in my journal. I can't remember how long that nap was, but it was a long nap. Huh. And Loccan kind of just flips through the images again. I'm gonna roll another hammer space really quick. And then he shuffles around in like one of his like gun holster pockets, specifically the one he uses for his hammer space. And he pulls out what looks to be a golden rod attached to a sort of like disc. It looks kind of like a key, but without the key prongs. I also found this in my pocket.
It gets a very "the hell is that" look from Perrin.
You ask me like I know.
You get a fair enough shrug.
He kind of tosses it in his hand a bit, like glancing between it and the journal and stuff. And it's like, there was one other note I found in here. And it's like, he flips around before he finds it scribbled underneath the engineer's picture. And it just says, "Screw piles of coal." I really don't get what that means.
Scribble, scribble, scribble. I woke up with a distaste for chess? Maybe something like that?
Loccan just gives the big old cartoony shrug, like, whatever the heck happened, it seems like it's, related, I guess? I'm not sure if we'll ever figure that one out. Huh.
You can tell that that's the same conclusion that Perrin's come to, but that it bothers him.
Oh, trust me, it bothers Loccan very much as well. He is like, he's got his hand on his chin, like, why can't I remember this? But after a while, he just decides, no, screw this. Well, actually, no. He closes the sketchbook for a moment and looks like he's about to put it back in his hammer space, but pauses. And then flips it back open to a blank page. And then he gets out a pen. It's like, well, while we're here, while I've got this open, and, might as well. And he starts sketching a drawing of Perrin.
This gets a very curious glance from Perrin, because Perrin's had pictures of him drawn before, usually by Eli for various different purposes, but this is different.
More casual.
Yeah. Drawing for the sake of drawing rather than to prove a point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Loccan's like I said, I like to sketch drawings of everybody I meet on my travels, and, well, you guys are certainly something I don't want to forget, so I'm just drawing it out now.
That does get a chuckle from him.
It's funny. Before that whole, long nap thing, I used to think this whole drawing other tunes thing was, some sort of taboo or something. I think that might have just been me being a bit delusional from being, out in the desert for so long, You can roll insight on that.
I'm absolutely rolling insight on that. The fuck? Nope, never mind. I rolled in that one.
No, he's been traveling a while. He might have gotten the wrong idea about it, drawing things. It's fine. He seems to have gotten better about it at this point. It's certainly not a thing that's bothering him anymore.
Little shrug.
Yeah.
There's a dot as Perrin gets an idea. Scribble, scribble, scribble. Do you have a permanent marker by chance?
Permanent marker? I'm gonna roll hammer space. again for this. He shuffles around and pulls out. It's not necessarily a permanent marker, but it is like a bolder pen. It's like close enough.
You get a very it'll do look, and then I'm gonna roll stealth.
Oh.
24, okay. There is no way he wakes up from this. You watch Perrin hop down off the table and sneak over to Barrow's sleeping form on the couch.
Loccan immediately cracks again, like, this is gonna be good.
I'm just gonna roll sleight of hand to see how creative he gets with it. 11, okay. You got your standard mustache, monocle, he pauses for a moment and then looks at you as if, like, do you have any suggestions? Kind of glance.
He's like looking around. He's already got the monocle. He's already got the mustache. That's good for like a villainish sort of type. Oh, don't forget the goatee.
You get a quick nod and a thumbs up and a little scribble of a goatee.
Oh man.
He like sneaks back over and passes you back your pen, and he's not relaxed, and you don't think he ever fully relaxes ever, but he does look more settled than he did before.
Yeah. Leave it to Toons to calm the mood by, pranking somebody.
Scribble, scribble, scribble. I don't get to goof off very often. I take each chance with both hands.
Yeah, completely valid. With your line of work, I can understand not having much of a break time. And then Loccan flips to a new page and starts sketching Barrow, although notably he seems to be having a more difficult time sketching out Barrow.
You get a questioning.
It's hard to get all the intricacies of like drawing a real kind down as good as drawing a Toonkind. Like you got to deal with all the fine shading. How they don't have outlines. How do you draw something without the outlines? I mean, I'm sure there are plenty of people who can draw things without the outlines. I just have trouble with it when I'm doing like a sketch like this.
You get a very may I kind of expression.
Loccan hesitates a moment before like nodding and passing the sketchbook and the pencil off to Perrin. You get the feeling he doesn't really let other people sketch in this book, but at this point it's like, why not? What do you think he can do?
Yeah. The picture that Perrin draws, it's not a full body. It's like just head, shoulders, and it's very. Whereas I imagine Loccan's drawings are more casual and more toony, this is a very scientific, realistic looking image.
Right, because he's a professional.
Professional, but also he's more used to making blueprints and sketching out things for reports.
That's fair. He probably made a few villain mugshots in his time.
Yeah, a couple times when they're really stretched. Yeah.
Yeah.
He adds a little bit of shading, adds a little bit of lighting, and then slides it back to you.
Not bad. Not bad at all. And he really quickly like flips to another page and adds a couple more sketches of like Tom/Frank. He's still not quite sure about the relation between those two because his perception was just that bad during that time. And then he also adds bro because of course we can't never forget bro.
Scribble, scribble, scribble in Perrin's notebook, and then you get a Do you think there's anything going on in there, or is it just lights on but nobody's home?
Loccan thinks for a moment. I mean, the lights are on, but I think it's all automated. I don't think anybody needs to be home.
You get a fair enough shrug.
Bro runs on. Bro seems to just run on what Bro runs on, and Bro does Bro things, and honestly, I can't get enough of it. Ugh. And with the party drawn out, he shuts the book again, stores it in his hammer space, and kind of leans back a bit. He's kind of like, alright, so. He checks on the map again. It's like, okay, yeah, this route seems good. Uh. Hmm.
Yeah.
I don't think Loccan would have any other questions at this point.
Perrin just makes a quick note of a couple place names and then closes his own book and looks kind of awkward. Like he wants to say something, but he doesn't know quite what to say.
Hmm.
You can tell he's not used to just casually talking to people.
Not used to the small talk.
Mm.
Uh. And you can tell, like, Locken's kind of like trying to think of a good topic to bring up as well. Because he's like, he's a bit better with the small talk, but at the same time, he's like trying to think of a topic that. a good small talk topic. At the moment, he's kind of like, okay, he's talked about his drawing stuff, he's talked about whatever that weird nap was, he's talked about stuff back home. He does kind of like. Eh. Actually, nope, I lost my train of thought there.
Valid. Perrin awkwardly like kind of shifts from one foot to the other and then raises his hands to sign something, remembers you're not that fluent in sign yet, opens his notepad again, and then he writes out a little passage. I heard of Barrow in one of the real kind continents. Arlai had been keeping an eye on him and had apparently taken care of him.
Taken care of. I mean, Locking glances back at the young. I can't remember if it was full elf or half elf, but the young boy, real kind, with scribbles on his face now. It's just like, well, it seems like he got untaken care of. If what I think they mean by taken care of is what they.
You get a kind of, it's usually what they mean.
Huh.
I th- then the note gets added to. I have to wonder if what they did to him caused his leg.
His leg.
Didn't you notice?
Oh yeah, he had a limp. Oh. Like the memories kind of like come back to Lockin a bit slowly because he's like trying to remember. Oh yeah, he did seem a bit weak on his legs, but he didn't completely internalize that part. It didn't seem like it was super important at the time because there was a bunch of other stuff going on. But now that you're like getting him to think about it, it's like, yeah, that's kind of a thing that happened. Huh.
Scribble, scribble, scribble. I hit him once, and he couldn't walk for a while after that.
Yeah, no, that's I know Loccan can be kind of fragile, but that seemed a bit extra fragile in terms of like sort of like being able to take a hit. Huh. Loccan kind of crosses his arms in thought, like, well,
If this works, and we find Sid, what will you do?
what will I do? Hmm. Loccan frowns a bit because, on the one hand, yeah, he told Perrin like the other night that yeah, if they if they were to cause any extra trouble once reunited, and we're gonna like actually try and like like get rid of them or destroy stuff again or whatever, that he would make the effort to apprehend them, to arrest them. But at the same time, he's only really known his own, like he's a lone sheriff. He's only really known his own jurisdiction of capturing Mormons and stuff, and keeping them in the dinky little sheriff's office jail cells. That's probably not going to hold these two. And from what he's heard, Wardsburg jail is really not good. From what Tom/Frank said. And from the sound of it, it doesn't sound like Isla's got the best track record either. And he's trying to think what would be the best option in this case. Because it's a tricky situation. I'm not quite sure about that yet.
Okay. Perrin looks around for a moment and then leans in closer so that you, like, between the two of you, no one else could be able to see the notepad. And then scribbles down,
Ooh.
"We can't let Eli have them."
Loccan nods. That seems like a fair assessment, considering all they've been through. And he thinks for a moment, and in all my time apprehending, like bandits and small town criminals and such, I've never like kept them for more than a week. I've always eventually let them go, and then they come back and try again. It's always been kind of a routine. Like it's villainy, but it's not like world, like it's not like drastic villainy. It's toon villainy. And I'm wondering if I know that the real kind and all that, but I'm wondering if it might be a good idea to try and get them to be the toonier villains, where it's like I know they're like how do I figure this out? Maybe they still get to do villainy, but on a smaller scale where it doesn't actually, Again, Loccan's got an idea here, but at the same time, he's just not sure how well the idea would work, and so he's only like halfway through elaborating what the idea even is.
Scribble, scribble, scribble. Villainy, but it's funny.
Yeah, that's what I'm going for. Yeah.
You can see Perrin is thinking about this idea now. Kind of running it through his mind. And he He adopts a similar pose that you had it earlier, like one hand beneath the bill, the other one just kind of staring out at the map that's still on the table. And he just quickly scribbles down, that could work.
You know, they get to still do what they want to do. They can still have like the thrill of like trying to avoid being captured, but at the same time, as long as they can understand that the consequences shouldn't be nearly as dire as whatever the heck they were doing before, because I actually don't know what they were doing before besides, destroying cities. Just kind of, if we can get them to reduce the scale of their villainy and, have a little more fun with it, maybe it can work out. We wouldn't have to full on arrest them. I wouldn't have a god like staring down my back.
Perrin just quickly scribbles down, I mean, well, their options are they can go with this plan, or they could have Ally hunting them down. Again.
Loccan glances over at Barrow. Well, we'll see how easy it is to convince him. Because at the moment, we only know one half of the total party we're going for here.
Something occurs to Perrin at that point. We don't even know one half. We don't know why Barrow's doing this, or why they were doing it in the first place.
We don't even know what Sid was doing either. Motivation is definitely something you gotta know when dealing with any baddie, and
can't make it funny if the motivation is not bad or not good.
If it's too heavy of a motivation, then yeah, I can see what you mean. But again,
Perrin flips a page and scribbles out "to do" on the top of it. Step 1, ask Barrow why they were doing villainy. Step 2, finish setting things up for stage villainy. Step 3, enact stage villainy. And then just at the side, somewhere in between those, convince Barrow to do villainy, but funny.
Loccan grins a bit good idea to write down that plan. He's kind of glancing around at the rest of the party, after all he's seen, I can't tell if he actually, enjoys tunes or not yet, so who knows, this could work out pretty well, or it could be absolutely disastrous. Who knows? And won't know until we try.
Scribble, scribble, scribble. From what I can tell, he's not used to us.
Not used. Here's the thing. Not used to us only lasts for so long. The longer he's here, the more used to us he'll get. And that's just kind of how things are. The longer you spend in any location, the more used to it you get.
You get a very, yeah, that's true, kind of.
And, if they were doing heavy tier villainy back in the real kind continent, where they were, under the real kind mindset, then maybe doing things surrounded by tunes could help them get a slightly tuner mindset, for their villainy. Just a thought.
You get another, yeah, that's true, kind of.
Yeah. That sounds like a plan. That sounds like a better plan than I think I've had for a while now.
That does actually get a full-on laugh from Perrin. And then you get a note shown to you that just says, I never plan, I just arrive and see what happens.
Loccan's just laughing along and nodding. Yeah, same thing. Same. Uh, After a moment, Loccan kind of holds up his hands, and it takes him a couple of tries. He sometimes gets his fingers tangled up for whatever reason, but eventually he kind of signs back to Perrin in sort of practice. It was a nice chat.
You get a grin from Perrin there. Because he can see that you're working hard and trying to learn the sign language.
Yes. Yes. And yeah, do you think we want to end it there?
I think that's a good stopping point.
Yeah. Oh.
We went from
Yeah, thanks for... What are you going to say?
You carry on.
Oh, I was just going to be like, hey, everyone, thanks for watching, listening, and all that stuff. And I was just going to do the outro. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say, we ran the whole gamut of emotions there, I think.
We went from ridiculous to sad to emotional to stupid to hilarious. It was all of them. But yeah.
Well,
But yeah, thanks for listening, everyone. This was great. Thanks for agreeing for this whole FPS thing, RJ.
No worries, man. I had fun.
Yeah. I guess we'll see you around whenever part 3 of whatever Protected Town was comes around.
Can we make it into a 4-parter?
Please no. Please no.